Hi guys, it's Pam Taylor here.
I'm Mark Garcia. Hello.
Thanks for tuning in today, and we are going to get to our PowerPoint. Let me get on my slideshow. And then from beginning. So like I said, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. I am Pam, and I am from North Star Medical Consulting, where we help you plan, optimize, and launch your private duty home health, home infusion therapy services program. So you're in the right place if you are a nurse. Number one, we work exclusively with nurses who are wanting to start their private duty home health infusion practices. If you're a solopreneur or you're just considering starting your own practice, this is really a great place for you to be. It is, sorry guys, it is also for people that have been in my course for a while, and some of this you may have already heard, but we've got some new stuff here tonight. I'm going to be giving away a free tool towards the end that's going to be super helpful for anyone that is in this space. So first of all, congratulations for being here. I'm glad that you have taken the time out of your busy schedules to tune in and just learn more. Of course, whatever you can to get smarter in your space or to understand more. I know a lot of people here, I've already met with you. A lot of you have already taken my courses. Some of you are brand new, but just welcome, and hope we can give you a lot of value and benefit today. So your attention, please, if you guys can, mute your cell phones or turn them off, shut your social media down, and really join in, take a listen, because it is really good practical experience. And yeah, I keep hearing this doorbell go off. I don't know if you guys hear it, but when people are trying to join, this doorbell keeps going off. So it's kind of annoying. It's a new feature of Zoom's. Anyway, I'm Pam Taylor. If you've not met me before, I am a registered nurse. I have got a lot of experience in the home health space. It's been about 15 years. I am an accredited consultant through ACHC, which is a lot like Joint Commission, but it's for home health. I am an educator. I'm a continuing education provider. So one of the things that I do is give continuing ed units for people that are in my courses. I am also the CEO and co-owner of North Star Medical Consulting. Here's the other co-owner. You'll hear more about him. And I am an administrator. I've been doing home health as an administrator, as a startup, as a consultant, like I said, for 15 years, as well as I'm a certified life coach. So if I haven't met you before, welcome. Great to meet you, and thanks for attending. Here is my better half, and I took this picture. I think it's really cute.
The jury's still out on that picture as far as I'm concerned, but my name's Mark Garcia. I'm a registered nurse. I've been one for 36 years. Some of that has been emergency room. Most of it has been home health. I've done pretty much every position in home health, probably except administrator. So we, I think, combined to bring a lot to the table. Also, I'm an accredited consultant. I've owned several home health and hospice agencies in various ways, helped boots on the ground, all facets of what is needed. Pam added the clinical rock star. I'm a
Yes,
CP
he's a clinical rock star.
I am also a CPR instructor for many years, for about 25 years. As I am a certified life coach, and I guess I am kind of, I can help a lot of the nurses who are on the field with clinical problems, issues, shortcuts, that sort of thing. So I've had some experience.
He's been around. He is most often director of patient care services and trainer and educator, and he really loves working with the staff piece. And I'm more of the, I love working with staff, but I'm more administrative and getting things running that way. So anyway, together we make a great team. Mark has still got his full-time position and administrative position, and and I'm home. We're both in California. We're not too far from Santa Barbara. So if you hear kind of a raspy voice, that is because of the fires. Mark has been stuck in traffic for a few hours today because of the fires. So and we had no internet till up to about an hour ago, no PG&E electricity. So if we lose you guys, we're just gonna keep going, and I'll get it to you guys, the recorded, but I think we'll be all right. If you can stand my voice, it's very whiskey, very raspy voice. So here's what we do. I've created these blueprint programs, and they take you from A to Z, starting your agencies up. And we've now expanded, like I said, into the Home Infusion Therapy Services program, but we do private duty, home health, hospice, all things home health. And our blueprint programs have a weekly master class. There's a one-on-one consulting component to it, as well as some group coaching. We do have some new membership opportunities, ongoing education like we're doing today. And I'm starting it's brand new, Mark doesn't even know this yet, what color's your stethoscope program. And in that, we're going to just be looking at what direction you'd like to take in your nursing career. And so that is that. If you guys have any questions on any of this stuff, put it in our chat. We will go to Q&As afterwards. But if any of these things kind of spark an interest, let me know, and I'll definitely get back. So good news for us, bad news maybe for for people in general, but patients are now leaving the bedside. And this has just been a growing trend. We've heard about it from for 20 years about the baby boomer generation. We're getting older. We are expecting more. We're more educated. And it has just, with COVID, I think it's just driven people more into wanting to stay home.
The project that I'm working on now, where I work, telehealth has always been a path that pretty much I think all agencies are going, but it was kind of slow moving. Guess what? One of the positives of COVID, it has driven that telehealth even further and quicker. So that's one of the things we can see. COVID patients, we can monitor them more, but see them less through this telehealth. So anyway, that's another thing that COVID has brought us. So
yeah.
So there's some things that are good. So
Mark is starting that program up and learning tons, and we're super excited about that. The other thing that COVID has done is, it's just a boom for psychologists and for counselors, of course, for nurses that have any interest in coaching or that sort of wellness thing. It's a great opportunity. COVID has unfortunately driven anxiety and depression, and it's really hard for psychologists to even get in to see a psychologist or counselor or therapist right now. So COVID has really driven the numbers up. And I think it's really stretched us to see exactly what we can do at home, versus like skilled nursing facilities, they're down by 25%, 18 to 25%. Residential care facilities, they're down. Everyone is wanting to stay home. So this is really driving the nurse entrepreneur. We're actually able to leave bedside and do some different things. So this is helping with coaches, therapists, clinicians, and yeah. Did you want to say anything else, Mark?
Other than the fact that it's just me, this is just me talking. It just seems like I'm seeing a lot more stress. I think the first round of COVID, it was, and I apologize if I'm making it light of it, but it was different. It was new. Wow, let's see what happens. And two, I think everybody assumed by this time we'd be back to normal. We're not getting back to normal.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's causing more of the stress this go around than the first go around. Again, because the first time it was exciting, new, hey, let's see what happens. So I think we're seeing a lot more people like yourselves looking at maybe there's another way of doing this.
Yeah.
So with the right place.
And here we are, the Nurse Tribe, we're answering the call.
Anything.
So we are doing consulting, we are doing coaching, home health is growing, home care services, home infusions, like we said, telemonitoring. Not everybody's electing for hospice now. We are a more educated group of people. And so there's some options in palliative care, weight loss programs. I mean, good God, how much, yeah.
We all
The
know that.
COVID, I don't know.
Oh, that's right. That's another thing that we dealing with post or during COVID, that unseen problems that are coming up.
There's a lot of them.
Besides stress, loneliness, and now weight gain, and oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I think we all know.
And I just heard nurse-owned hospitals. So, I mean, nurses are actually thriving up and opening hospitals. And, we're starting to get strong. I think, pardon my French, but I feel as nurses, we got shat upon when we ran out of PPE and we were having to make our own masks. And we found out how expendable we are. I think, we're starting to really take a good look at, those things. So I got a doink.
Yep.
Sorry, guys. Let's see. So why business ownership? I mean, why not? There's so many reasons why. But, if you want to get some kind of flexibility, if you want some autonomy and independence, you want to work for yourself. If you are looking for, building some kind of rewarding relationships, I mean, there's a lot of options. There is, you're able to kind of choose your patient population, if you like peds or if you like geriatrics or you like whatever population that you love, you can really target that in your practice. So there's tax write-offs. I mean, if you write off virtually everything. So if you're a dual income household, having another source of income where you're able to write so many things off, that's another huge plus. And there's no income ceilings. When you're a nurse, you are going to make so much an hour. You may be salaried or hourly, but there's a ceiling of what you're going to make. Even, there's only so much overtime you can do. Whereas if you have a business, there's really no income ceiling.
And I've always said this, probably everybody knows this, there's really not a big way to go ahead. You can always do well in life, but to go ahead further, I think owning your own business is the only way that's left. There's education, sure. There's all the standards and the guarantees, but owning your own business is you drive the car. So I think that this is the way to go.
So, growth challenge. So, as you're owning your own business, and there is a huge challenge going from a nurse, bedside nurse, to owning your own business. And that is really why we're here tonight, to talk about kind of that growth challenge. As nurses, we have a certain mindset around money and fees and asking for things. So there's a huge opportunity for growth. And so that's what we're here to talk tonight. And we need a new mindset, inner dialogue. I saw Jill Weberdine on here. You guys, if you get a chance, listen to her. She's all about kind of this inner dialogue that we have with ourselves and really getting a handle on that. That's such a big piece of business ownership. We need new business concepts. We need some new tools that we don't necessarily have as nurses. I want to talk tonight about some processes, some math, just creating a new belief system of your worth. Right now, you're saying, oh, I'm a $50, $75 an hour nurse, whatever it is, $100 an hour. I'm a $100,000 a year nurse. You've got a belief system of what your practice or what your worth is. And so, we have to undo some of that stuff when we go into business and restructure all of that. So.
And a lot of those big numbers that Pam, there are nurses who are doing very well,
Yeah.
but at what cost? I mean, away from family, nights. I remember saying this. Well, heck, I'll go ahead and take Christmas and I'll work nights. And I just started calculating. Okay, that's time and a half. But what was the cost? I wasn't with my family at Christmas, and I slept the whole day next day. And so we've all been there. We've all know what that is like. So, and this to be a different way of doing things.
So this is our Nothing But Net. Here's our course outline. Today, I want you guys to learn how to set a realistic fee schedule. And I want to challenge some of your old mindsets. I want to grow our business minds. I want to look at some administrative costs. So these might be new terms. These might be old terms, depends on how long you've been around business. But I want to determine some of those costs. I want you all to understand gross revenue versus net profit. I'm going to do that by kind of going backwards and looking at our paychecks and kind of drawing a similarity. I want to just set some really super practical goals for you tonight. So those are the things we're going to get to. It's quite a bit. So let's get moving. So as business owners, we need to have plans. Got to have a plan. You need mentors, you need coaches, you need people smarter than you. You need some systems. You need to figure out ways of doing things that you can duplicate over and over again. And so if you're moving your needle forward, if you're getting results, if you're making money, if you're losing money, you need systems set in place. And you need procedures. You got to have budgets and you got to know your numbers. So that's the stuff that business owners must have. Mark?
That's why, well, at least for me, that may not be my expertise, but guess what? I have a partner she has that mindset. So with these plans, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to do everything. So if you know people that have the same mindset, but have a different talent, seek out those people. And they don't even necessarily have to be your partner, but they can certainly help. I'm sure we all know people like that.
Who said, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room? Like, seriously, get around smart people, listen to smart people, turn your iPad or your podcasts on, your Clubhouse, your group memberships. Like, you need to surround yourself with this. If you decide to go into business, you need to just soak yourself in that stuff, because you'll learn all day long, every chance you get.
And the only thing I would probably add to that, if you're not in you're not the smartest one in the room, which good, you're in the right spot. You should talk less and listen more.
Yeah.
And so,
2 ears, 1 mouth.
yes, exactly. So it's a treat. Consider that a treat.
Yeah. So nurses, I mean, here's how we start out. Usually, it's a little anxious. We're going to negotiate our salary. Sometimes we just get told what our salary is going to be. Every year, we're going to want our evaluation. Hopefully that evaluation gives us a raise.
Yeah, and it's usually what I can't remember. It's been so long, but they give you this small percentage raise, and you're just so grateful. But if you look at it, it's not enough for what we do.
Yeah.
There's so much more we bring to the table. I can't imagine anything that's in the single digits as far as raise go that would be worth it. So
Yeah, it's true.
yeah.
So those raises, they used to be, we're keeping up with the cost of living. That hasn't happened. Sometimes, you'll get one, sometimes you won't. You might get a salary position, that doesn't account how many hours you might have to work. You might be working 40 plus, but most leadership positions are salaried now. I remember, early in the nursing career, we got paid time and a half when we worked 12-hour shifts. That just got taken away. No questions asked. Nobody even thinks about it anymore. But, we are grinding our bones into the ground and not even getting our time and a half after 8 hours. So as we're growing, hemorrhoids, varicose veins,
Completely off the subject, but I was just thinking today, like I said, we lost our power today. And I was just thinking back at all those times, the first thing that would come to my mind, we lose my power is, did I pay that bill? Did I have enough to pay it? Oh no, there was that. I remember thinking, I'm gonna throw all the bills in the air. The ones that hit the grounds, I don't pay. The ones that stay in the air, I do. But again, we've all been there. But to get to a point where that is not the first thought when the power goes out. That's what I think we all should be working towards, and we deserve it. That's the other thing, is we deserve those feelings. So,
I mean, at one time we were working for pensions and retirements. There was a match. Now, what used to be a 401k is now a 403b. They match up to $3,000 a year. All these pensions and retirements are going away. So really time to start looking out for yourself. We're having dwindling benefits, and the writing's on the wall. I hope things change, but that's the way it goes right now in nursing. But let's shift gears and quit whining. Let's look at our gross pay. So there's going to be some comparisons I'm doing between a nursing paycheck and a business mind. So now this is growing our business mind. So our gross pay is, when you get your paycheck, you're going to see gross pay. It's going to be like in hours or units. Here's somebody with a 40-hour a week. And, depending on their pay scale, that's how much they're going to make. That's their gross. Okay, you guys are going to go yawn, I know. Now, when you take your deductions out, that's your net. After you take all the taxes and withholding, that's your net. I know that's super simplistic, but I'm going to apply it to business now. And that's your net pay. That's when you bring your paycheck home, or you get your stub, or you check your checking account, you kind of cross your fingers and see, how much that taxes came out in overtime or whatever. That's your net. Now, as an employee, that is your gross, your net, your deductions. As an entrepreneur, your unit is now, your income is coming from various sources, okay? But that is still a gross. That's what we're going to consider a gross. And your deductions are now going to be not your taxes and not your insurance or anything like that. Your deductions are now going to be administrative costs, the cost of wages for your labor, or for contractors. We're going to go through all of that. And that net pay, that bottom line you used to get on your paycheck, your net pay, we're going to show the calculations of that, or how to come up with that later. But that's now called a net profit in business. That may have been really simplistic. I don't know. You guys might be like yawn, but anyway, that's a comparison. Same concept. As an employee, you've got gross pay, you've got your deductions, you've got net pay. As a business owner, you've got income from different sources. Okay. You're not going to get a paycheck every 2 weeks or every month, but there's different sources of income. You're going to deduct your cost of doing business, and that's your net profit now.
Okay. Interesting. I'm learning something here.
No, you're not.
I know, just to hear it.
But anyway, all right, new mindset. So gross income is now, we're starting to look at units versus, oh, I'm making so much an hour. So you need to get rid of that. I'm a $50 an hour nurse, or I'm a $75 an hour nurse. You got to get rid of that whole concept. Our units are now employee hours. So we're going to start talking about billable hours. We're going to start talking about shifts, payment per shift. This is how we're going to start selling units in home health or private duty, even some solopreneurs with coaching and things. This is how you're going to start selling things, by visits or by your program or by your package. So throw out that 50, 75, 100 grand a year nurse mindset. That we're going to start looking at units of this.
Probably most of you know this already if you've been in business. Maybe that's where you all are, but this is these are all the things that I was saying. The only way to get ahead is to have own a business, and these are some of the things that Pam is saying that's what it will do. There's a lot of things that I never knew until I owned a business. You can do that. Yes, you can do that. And it saves you so much money and earns you so much money. And again, it's a shock. Why doesn't everybody own a business? So that's where you are. So good. All
right. So administrative costs, we're going to look at those. Administrative costs are whatever it costs to keep your lights on. So that would be like your lease. If you're a brick and mortar, it would be for your licensing, or if you go for accreditation, like how much you're paying for your website, your insurance, cell phone, shredder, monthly loan payments, anything like that are your administrative costs. Oh, marketing is very much an administrative cost. So monthly loan payment. And I have a little bit to say about this monthly loan thing. Even if you are have not gotten a loan to do your business, you're still taking a loan out from yourself. You're still using your money. You need to actually write yourself a check and consider that a loan, and consider paying it off and setting the goal of paying yourself back for that loan. That loan cost needs to be part of your administrative costs. Okay, that needs to be factored in. So, you don't want to just lose 10, 20, or 30 grand. And, that needs to be part of your thought processes. If you don't make it part of your thought process, you'll think, oh, I'm getting ahead, I'm doing great, and oh, except for that 10, 20, or 30 I just dropped. So, deduction variables. So the things you're going to come up with kind of these administrative costs, and it's going to be pretty set. It's going to be the things I just spoke about, but the things that are really going to vary is like going to be your employee wages, employee taxes and withholdings, and contractor fees. I do have a tool I'm going to send to everyone who hangs on through my webinar. That helps you calculate that and lets you look at your net profit. So it's a working tool. So here's a fee schedule kit tool, which I'm going to be sending to you guys. And, I think I'm going to actually try to share that with you right now. Let me see if I can do a new share. let's go to my Excel right there. Doink, doink. All right, guys, this one I'm going to give you, and I love this thing. It's going to help you when you're looking at sending a contractor out, or you're looking at sending an employee out or anything like that. This is a tool I'm going to give you. So let's say we're going to pay a caregiver, not $100, that's something else. Let's say we're going to pay somebody $15 an hour. And this really does a calculations of there. It puts all of their all of the costs of their taxes and withholding, your administrative costs, you're going to put those in, and it comes up with like what you should be charging your out in the field. So this is what we're really working towards today, is getting used to using this this tool. So here we've got someone that we're paying $15 an hour, and we've factored all of this into an Excel sheet. And we say we want a gross margin of 35%. That's good for it. This is a good industry standard. This is what we need to be charging out in the field. So we're going to go back to this tool a couple of times. And like I said, I will be sending that out to everyone. This is a pretty good little thing. I'll be sending that out to everyone. If you guys could chat me up though, and let me know kind of what area of interest you're in and a good email to send this to. You can just put that in the chat. All right, let's do a new share, and we are going to go back to here. Can you guys see that okay? All right, we're back to our toolkit. So like I said, your startup costs, you need to figure out how much your startup costs are, and you're going to treat them as a loan. Please don't not do that. You know, you need to write that out of a different checking account, a personal checking account. You need receipt of that. You need to not commingle those funds. Don't just start writing, taking your own personal money and putting it into a business account. If you give any money to your business, treat that as a loan. You can charge interest on that money if you'd like. It's up to you. You can't, but you do need some kind of contract, and you need to be paying on that monthly. And I want you guys to figure that into your administrative costs. Okay, you need to know what that number is. So here's an example. Say you're going to take $20,000 to start your business. You want a payoff date like any other contract, say it's in 3 years. So here's one. We've definitely done some loans for companies for sure. Interest-free.
Oh, that's right. That was one of the last ones that company we started up.
No.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's up to you whether you're going to do interest or not, but here's the interest-free loan at $555 per month times 36 months. Put that in your administrative costs, because, you know, you could use that $20,000 doing something else. That $20,000 could be making you money somewhere else. So this gives you a good idea how you did with your 20 grand. So I tell people over and over, you guys are probably sick of hearing it. Please do not commingle your funds. You just won't know what end is up. These corporations are shields, and they keep us out of legal trouble. They keep us from being sued. If you commingle your funds, someone can come in there and challenge that corporate protection. So do not commingle your funds. And then know your administrative costs, and set a goal to meet industry standards. So you really need to know, as a business owner, what are my drop dead costs every month, okay? And that should just roll off the tip of your tongue. And those are everything except for wages and, payroll and things like that, contractors. What are your drop deads? And you should always, always know that. As kind of an industry standard, you want to, in home health or in a hospice or private duty, you want to have about your administrative costs you should be tacking on is about 20 to 25% of your gross, okay, is your administrative costs. If you're staying in there, you're in the right margin. Now, here's the issue. When you're first starting up, your first year, your first 6 months ain't gonna look great because you're gonna have all these administrative costs and you're not gonna have much gross profits. So your administrative costs are gonna be 75% probably, maybe more. But, once you get rolling, you want to have your administrative costs around 20 to 25%. And if you're leaking anyway, one way or the other, I hope you're spending it on marketing and everything's working out okay. But if you're off, one way or another, you need to be looking at where you're leaking fluid from. Yeah. So yeah, it's going to vary widely based on marketing costs. I mean, there's people that are putting 50% of their gross back into marketing, and it's paying off. So always keep an eye on that administrative costs and your marketing.
And the time frame from idea on a paper plate to you're up and running could seem forever, and whatever that time frame is. So you want to, and actually this is a little bit of a commercial, you want to shorten that time as much as you can. The way to do that, one way is good old-fashioned hard work. Another way is through a consultant. All those pitfalls, all those speed bumps, some of those can be totally eliminated with consulting. So that's why.
Yeah. I mean, don't be shy about learning and hiring people. Just make for sure, that they're smart people. What a lot of people will do is they'll do like a franchise because all of these things are figured out. All these systems are figured out. The problem with that, though, is that, for the rest of your life, you're paying royalties and you've got big balloon payments and there's quotas you have to make. So, just get with the smart people, learn all you can. And there's our toolkit again. I like you guys. I love this toolkit. So save it. When you guys get it, save it on your computer, your Google or whatever, save it. And you can set it up for different, well, you can change it all the time, but you can set it up. You can change your administrative cost percentage, or you can change whatever rate you're paying. But this toolkit is amazing. And it takes all the guesswork out of how to charge, how to create that fee schedule to charge your clients or your patients. So you want a break-even projection. This is a goal you're going to set where you quit leaking blood. And, it could be 3 months, it could be 6 months. Set it out there. Don't set it out there. Like Mark said, don't set it out there too far. You don't want to be leaking fluids for a year or two. Okay. You want to have some projections at 6 months, for a year, for 2 years, for 3 years. And you need to see if you're meeting those goals. Okay. And you need to take a look back, keep looking back and looking at your administrative costs and making for sure that you're not spending too much on any of this stuff. Because it can get away from you. When you're out there and you're doing your insurances and you're paying your lease and you're doing your website, people start tacking stuff on your software. All these things can really get away from you. So make for sure that you're routinely looking at this stuff. And in my course, I really go into the reports that you should be running or looking at. Weekly, you need to be looking at your marketing. Weekly, you're going to be looking at payroll. You should be looking at your billing weekly and making for sure that bills are submitted timely and that you don't have too much in accounts receivable. This is all the stuff we go through in our program. But yeah. those are some of your goals you need to be setting. So let's begin with the end in mind examples. So say you've got a goal that in 6 months you want $1,000 a month net, or in a year your first year you want to make 25, year 2 you might want to make 100, and year 3 200,000. This is I put a dot there instead of a comma, $200.
Nice.
But you need to begin with the end in mind. You need to write these numbers down. They're never ever going to happen until you write them down. So write them down and then figure out how to achieve them. So how many units do I need to sell to hit my goals? So that's what you're going to do, is you're going to work backwards. Say I want to make 100 grand this year. I need to make 100 grand plus administrative costs. So I'm going to have my administrative costs at 25%. So I need to make 125 a year. That's how you figure out. We're going to start working backwards now on how to do that. So your unit charges, they're going to, so say you're selling visits, or you're selling a package like a infusion package or something. How you're going to charge these people is going to vary widely by customer. Mm-hmm. So know your customer. It's going to vary widely by administrative costs. So you definitely want to run lean. It's going to vary very, very widely by employee costs. We have a tool to show you on that. It's going to vary widely by your contractor costs, marketing. That's another really big factor on how to charge. But always check these against your industry standards. So like I said, in our space, you should be making somewhere between 30 and 35% net profit. But, every industry is a little bit different. I would say I would do my calculations as a new agency. I would run more to 35% net profit, because, there's some things you're going to miss and some little mistakes. So running a little bit on that side is really smart. So yeah, like I said, there's standards, 20 to 25 for administrative costs, unless, marketing is kind of can be a carve out if you find a great marketing situation. And your net profit should be around 30 to 35%. So I'm going to do some business model examples. I'm going to show you guys how I do the math on this stuff. And this is what I'm trying to show you, is how to think like a business owner. And so I'm going to show you how I figure out some of this stuff. So again, here's our tool, which I should probably go to. But yeah, so let's go to caregivers. Let me pull up my tool again. Doink, doink, right there. All right, so here's my caregiver. And, you're going to figure out in your area how much it costs for non-skilled caregivers. How much are you going to pay them? And it's going to be at least $15 an hour, maybe more. I would expect to pay someone no less than $15 an hour to be in the home. What do you think?
Yeah.
For non-skilled.
That's they're working so closely with your client base, your customer. Yeah, everybody has to be happy. The caregivers, then that will make the clients happy. And I guess also you're also saying that the area, somebody who's in, say, Waco, the prices are going to be different than obviously somebody in Beverly Hills. So right. You have to decide how that's going to look, and they expect more. Anyway, that's probably a whole other webinar right there.
That is, but so we're going to look at setting our caregiver wage at $15 an hour. Okay. with this toolkit, you're going to be able to change this out all you want. With this toolkit, you're going to put all of your withholdings in here, what your state, what your social match is, what your Medicare, workers' comp is going to vary. So you'll be able to change all of these figures, their liability, their bonding, the administrative costs I set at 22%. It's kind of in the middle. But as you figure out your administrative costs, adjust them in this fee schedule. Transportation, if you're paying by the, anybody for transportation, that you would put in there as well. So you do your calculations. I put 15 an hour. You can see this person right here. I put my 35% in here. You guys can change that. So my gross margin every hour this guy works is I'm putting $5 in my pocket. Okay, that's my gross. This is how much I need to charge out in the field to put $5 in my pocket. So it's $27.71 an hour. I could do the same thing with, $25 an hour or whatever. Doesn't matter, but that's my calculation. So this is what I should be charging. This is all based on standards that are already set in this space. This is what I should be charging, around $27 an hour. And I should have a gross margin of about $5 for every hour I have somebody out in the field. So you can see, if you have very many people out there, you can really be making some great income. Let's see. Let's go back now to our PowerPoint. Are you guys seeing it okay? Yay. All right. So I have a whiteboard that I don't think I'm going to go to. Maybe I'll go to my, let me see what I have up. New share. So if I set a goal of, say, $2,000 a month, say I've figured out my administrative costs, $2,000 a month, and I have a agency that only does, like, I'm waiting for my skilled license to come through. All I'm doing right now is I'm doing caregiver services. I'm sending somebody into the home to do transportation, or to do sunrise service, make meals, do laundry. Can you think of what else caregivers do in the home?
They even do, I don't know if you said housework. They can
Light housework.
housework, which the clients all love. Then nothing feels better coming into a clean home, but
yeah. So if I've got that and I just have a goal of, I'm waiting for my licensing, I just want to make $2,000 a month. I just want to cover my expenses. I need 400 billable hours right here, 400 times $5, $2,000. I need 400 billable hours per month. So you start writing this stuff down, you have goals to hit. So I need 58-hour shifts per week. That's, is that right? 50 times 8. Ooh, 8 hours times 4 is 32. 50 times 8. I'm gonna have to do my math on that. But anyway, you need 1.5 clients served per week to hit that, just that minimum goal. And yeah, I just did this. $5 an hour. And I want to do 400, that's equal to 2,000. If I had that, 50 times 5 is 250 times 8, 0, 40, 16. Yeah, that's right. So you need 58-hour shifts per week. Or if you're doing full-time clients, you can do 1.5 clients served per week. Here's another goal I could set for myself. Say I have a nurse, I'm paying her $50 an hour. Let's go back to my little calculator, show you guys how I do this. So here's 50 simoleons an hour.
That.
And then, oops, let's get rid of that 15. Doink, doink. All right. And then presto change out. If I'm sending a nurse, we can change that and write RN, LVN, whatever. If I'm paying her $50 an hour, this is doing all my calculations, doink, doink, doink. I've got my 35% gross margin in there. I'm going to be making $17.50 an hour on that nurse. And here's the rate I need to be billing minimally. That's a really good, cheap rate. Super good. You're going to be making more than 35%. I'd throw it back into marketing. But anyway, this is how we're setting our fee schedule. So you could definitely, set a fee schedule of $100 an hour for nurses. That's a really sweet deal. A lot of people are going to eat that up. The only thing I would say is I would do a 3-hour minimum.
Mhm.
You don't want to just send a nurse out for an hour.
And with the climate where family can't be with the patient in the hospital, everybody's going to opt to, no, we want Nana home.
Yeah.
I don't care what it costs.
Yeah.
We want her home.
Mark and I are going through that right now.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's awful. So this would be an hourly rate that you could charge and definitely get that. So there's a lot of things to look at on your hourly rate if you're going to be doing infusions or if you're going to be doing medication management. I mean, there's so many aspects of how to do this. So I can't go into all of it right now, but anyway, that is that. Let's see our next little scenario. Right there, doink. So in that scenario, I'm paying a nurse $50 an hour. I'm charging $92.35. That's my fee schedule. I probably round it up a little bit. I'm going to net $17.50 an hour. Now, say my goal year one, I want to hit 25,000. Okay. And I would need to do that. I would need 1,428 billable hours per year. And I'm going to break that down by 52. So I need 28 billable hours per week. Set that as a goal. It won't happen unless you write it down. So that's another scenario. Here is 100 grand a year. So say you're doing 2-hour infusions with RNs. And so you're going to pay that nurse $100. And let me go to my thing again. Let's put $100 in there. This is 2-hour show up time. All right, let's do these just in case. All right, here we are. I'm going to send a nurse out for $100. I got my admin costs around 22%. Remember what those admin costs are? Remember, you can change them. If you're doing more marketing, these costs are going to go way up. Remember that. Remember to adjust your workers' comp depending on where you live. Okay, and then you put your admin costs in. All right. And this is going to cost me, actually, after I pay these things, keep the lights on, it's going to cost me $150 to send a nurse out there for 2 hours for an infusion. To make my 35% gross margin, I need to be charging $184.70. That is my fee schedule. Okay. If I did a package for a 2-hour infusion. So say you're out there, you're doing high dose vitamin C, or you're out there doing a Myers, or what's some of the other ones that are about 2 hours?
I can't think of it.
Even if you're going to do like a normal saline hydration, something like that, and you're going into the home, you can pour a liter in on a young person super fast, but But say it is not a young person or it's a pregnant mommy or something like that. That would be a package. You could do a 2-hour IV infusion, doesn't have to take 2 hours. You could do even a 3-hour minimum show up time, could be another package. You could offer and say you've got $300 minimum 3-hour, you would charge, it would cost you $449. Dang, that went way up. 322, $449. You're going to pay your nurse. Your gross margin on that, sending them out for the 3 hours is 105, and you would charge someone $550. So you're not marketing this to poor people. Okay, you've got a specific audience here. There is a home infusion therapy services program now that is where you can get, as a private duty, you can get accredited through Medicare, and you can start getting these Medicare rates. They go anywhere from $150 to $350 or $400, something like that. But it's a very specific formulary. And if you guys have questions about that, please hit me up, and I can help you understand that. We do help people to get into that space, to get them accredited. We do have a blueprint to success for that home infusion therapy services program. That program is brand new through Medicare. It just started this year. And you do have to get accredited as a private duty agency. So it takes a little work. It's not the cheapest thing to do. I would put 20 or 30,000 aside to do it, depending on what state you're in. But hire a consultant. Don't do this on your own. All righty. New share. Mark, you can chime in anytime.
No, this is great.
I always ask Mark, how do you feel, Mark? And then I tell him how he feels.
Yeah. Being a husband. So no, go ahead. This is great. I love it.
Let's go back to like a 2-hour infusion. Say I'm going to offer these 2-hour infusions to people. I want to create a package. I want to make $100,000 a year doing these. And we're going to need to do 200, this many infusions a year, 55 per week, or 10 per day. So you see, you got to hustle to do this. And I need to check out my math on that. Everything I'm doing today, 100,000 divided, do 100 divided by 35. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So you're hustling on this stuff. Honestly, the smartest thing to do as a hybrid is to offer some non-skilled and to offer some skilled, and to offer some different packages. Like I said, this package right here is not for everyone. Not everyone can afford that kind of service, but definitely there is a way to market to a specific population. That is one of the things we go through on my course, is where to find the populations and all that kind of demographic stuff. So whiteboard, lucrative, private duty. I think we talked about that. 40 days for 8, 120, 36 per year. Yeah. 5 an hour. So yeah, I mean, anytime you're doing this kind of private duty, you're sending a caregiver out there, you're going to be making about $5 an hour on them. This is considering when you use my little fee schedule tool, guys, and you've got your administrative, you're going to be making about $5 an hour on these private duty caregivers. So people are hiring private duties, and they're doing 8-hour shifts. Sometimes they're doing 24-hour shifts. If you're doing a 24-hour shift, and I've seen a lot of them, I know you're like, holy guacamole. It is actually very doable. There are people with money that are not going to these high dollar residential care facilities or assisted living. Instead, they're hiring caregivers. And there's a lot of people out there doing it. And you're going to make $3,600 a month per client or $43,000 a year on that 24-hour caregiver. So while you're sleeping, you're getting $5 an hour, and that, that really adds up. I mean, you can do the math. So that's the non-skilled side. Of course, with your private duty side, these are unlicensed people, and there's some challenges.
With this one, with this type of business plan, word of mouth, reputation is everything.
Yeah, it's everything.
So, and it starts at the top. So from just my experience, you'll be the team leader. You'll be at home while you have people working, but if you can inspire, if you can motivate, and maybe even encourage your staff to go on. They don't, not to be caregivers, go on and encourage them to go become nurses, RNs, doctors, lawyers, whatever. That goes a long way with their mindset, and they feel better about themselves and they pass those feelings. But that's the one thing about private duty is it's your reputation is big in this plan. So
yeah. The other thing I want to say about that, Mark, is, you've got to be a good employer. Your people got to want to work for you. These employees have a ton of choices, and they might be working for 2 or 3 or 4 different agencies. You need to be the agency of choice. So if you're an a-hole and you're not a good employer, don't open an agency. No, I'm sorry. But if you are, and you've got some restrictions on your communication skills, please hire someone smarter in the room. Hire that person. Your right-hand person really needs to have great communication skills, some good emotional intelligence, be respectful, hopefully be able to be bilingual or have some different skills that you don't have. So, your right-hand person, the first person I would hire in private duty, home health, or hospice, whatever you decide you're going into, would first and foremost just be that person that people can relate to, that people can want to work for. When that person picks up the phone, they're going to answer. And so be a kind employer. Think about all the things you went through as a nurse, and put that as one of your goals as an employer, not to ever do to anybody else. And, you'll have an army of people to work for you. So right now it's super cool because there's all these people that are going to be looking for jobs that are going back to work.
Right. And with this type of business, there's a lot of people that are looking for help in the home. So it's a perfect storm.
Yeah.
But if you can if you're the type that likes to lead with the whip, hey, you know what? All good. Your next hire should be somebody that can change your suggestions and your demands into something that's a little bit more accepting with the staff. Nothing wrong with that. I've worked with companies just like that.
Yeah.
So, and that works great.
Yeah.
So,
Mark and I are going through something right now with COVID that I think, so many people have faced, and that is with Mark's mom right now. And, she just fell and broke her hip. She is a very active, responsible 80-year-old. She does her exercises. She does her Tai Chi. She's the cutest little thing. And she fell and broke her hip. And she's now in a hospital that is 2.5 hours away from us. They've only allowed 1 visitor for the entire stay. It's Mark's brother. And because he lives close to the hospital. And Mark's brother just got exposed to
Oh,
Corona.
that's right. He got exposed. He hasn't any symptoms yet, still testing negative, but that's another one of the, oh, what else can happen?
Yeah.
So,
So now she's in there and we're talking to her and she's like not making any sense. She's not oriented. And this woman was more oriented than I was, 2 weeks ago.
everybody looks at her as the shaman of the family. They go to
Yeah.
her for advice
Yeah.
or just to sit next to her.
So, I mean, are we going to pack her off now and send her to skilled nursing facility? No, I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
We'll probably, have her here. We're going to have to hire some caregivers and we're going to have help in the home. That is typical of what's going on right now. And so COVID is only, just driving that need more. Amazon's jumping on the bus. I mean, if you look at the stock market, software companies of home health and all these software companies have gone crazy. They're buying them up. The smaller agencies are getting bought up by the bigger agencies. There's a storm of brewing and it's going to be a whopper.
It is.
Yeah.
There's going to be a need. There's a need. It's time that somebody should fill that need.
Yeah. So
Could
here
be
we are.
You.
Here we are. All right. And then I was going to do something on an LVN. You guys, whenever you can find yourself a good LVN, pop them in place. You're going to make more money. LVNs are excellent wound carers. Anything hands-on, LVNs do so well. So I'm not going to do a whiteboard on it because we are getting pretty into the hour, but run these numbers, use that fee schedule for LVN, run it backwards and see how much money you can make with some LVN services. Every state is different. You can't always send LVNs in on infusions. Some states you can. Always make for sure your staff is super trained. Take the time for a good orientation and to really get to know your staff, their capabilities, their strengths, their weaknesses, train them when you can on everything that you expect them to do. And our program has all of that paperwork, skills checklists, and things like that we go through. So, marketing to the affluent. Whew. Yeah. So you guys, there's a carve out, the top, it's not 2%, but maybe 10%, 12% of people, that just really don't care how much they spend on stuff. Or they have a huge, they'd like to spend money. You see them and they expect to pay more. There's not that much competition going for that market. There's really a way to find that market. You need to figure out, in your community where that market is. Is it, before you license or ask for a license, you want to make for sure that's within driving range. But, marketing to that community, they want, they have certain expectations. They're not for everyone. They want to, I don't want to call them Karens, but they want to be perceived as receiving a higher level of care. So if you can tolerate that, or you can hire people that are good in that community or with that population, market to that. There's a higher expectation of care, higher level of care. You're, really should take a look at that, because that can be incredibly lucrative. There is a book by Dan Kennedy. Don't hold it against me. I'm not a huge fan of his. Actually, I'm not a fan at all of his. But he wrote a book and it's called The No BS Guide to Marketing to the Affluent. And it really talks to how to reach these people and get inside the mindset and, getting these mailing lists and really how to market to this population. So that is another kind of a business model that you can look at. You guys don't forget my tool. You guys go into the chat box, give me your area of interest. I'll definitely get this tool to you, and where you can do your own calculations. It's super helpful. So put it in the chat box before you leave. All right, examples of services provided. So here's all the things you can do in home health and private duty, and there's more. I like to say there is as many niches as there is nurses. There's home infusions, there's LVN dressing changes, medication management. I've seen where people go out once a week, send a nurse out once a week to load the med box. There's sunrise service, there's sundown service. There is weight loss programs where nurses are going in there with their coaching skills and getting licensed, or at least getting set up to go in there, do dietary, do weight, do B12, do infusions, things like that, aesthetics in the home, telemonitoring.
I think and that's just going to continue to grow.
That is.
After this. So.
Yeah, any kind of coaching in the home. I'm going to go, you guys are going to go, oh my God, there's so many. But we're going to talk about, here's been our focus. I should have said retro, but you guys need to control your administrative costs, know what that number is, know it's somewhere between 22 and 25%. You need to know your numbers. You need to hire experts. You need to have people like other people in your field. So if you're doing private duty or home health or whatever you decide you're going to do, coaching, whatever, get in the group memberships, start talking the talk, get real comfortable with whatever space you're in. You're going to just learn so much. Learn everything you can, never quit learning, and, market. How much does marketing mean, Mark?
And I think that the reason people don't think of it is there's not a quick return. I mean, a marketer will go out on Monday and you might not hear anything Tuesday and Wednesday. And the first thing people say is, what do we do that for? Well, it's that Thursday, Friday that makes the difference. It's that, I've said this before, it's some of the things that other agencies don't do that you will on Friday night. Like, for instance, a marketer said, Friday night, 4:45, if you call us, we will be there. Well, we have to be there. All the other agencies will say, no, sorry. Well, a good marketer will say, we'll be there. They come back to the office. We have one, good. It's Friday, it's now. We got to get it done. And again, those are the things that the marketers do. They are the ones that make things happen, turn the wheels, and they'll make you work. They'll
keep you busy.
They'll keep you busy. A good one will.
And you guys, good news here. I mean, my program deals so much. We have a huge component of marketing. If you get any of the software now that is set up for home health private, any of the softwares, it will show you your marketing efforts, and you're able to see what your marketers are producing. So we really go through that weekly marketing meeting, the expectations, and some of the things I go through in this course is what to expect with a marketer, and your interview, your job posting, what to say to this person, and what that structure of how you're going to pay a marketer. If you don't have somebody in your ear, an expert, please hire an expert. If you don't hire me, that's okay. You're missing out. But hire an expert. Like, you're not going to fall down so many holes. What do you got to say about that, Mr. Garcia?
Exactly. And again, that's the home marketing is important in the fact that they will keep you working. It doesn't seem like it when you first hire somebody, but they will. They'll keep the lights on, they'll keep you working. Oh, and you can also look at an incentive-based compensation. That's always nice for both parties.
Yeah.
But I have seen it where the incentive base goes so out of hand because they're doing so well, you might have to restructure it, make them a manager of the marketing department, and then they
Yep.
get a salary. So there's things that make both parties happy. So anyway,
And
that's jumping.
your
apart.
agency, your marketers are running around in nicer cars than you
Nice,
are.
exactly.
Yeah.
And we started off with one, hoping that they'll do us some good. I think there's what, 10, 12 of them now, and they're
Yeah.
all busy and they're all just as
Living the life.
all the marketers are just as hungry as the other one. So
Yeah.
that's the personality that you need to look for.
Yep. And they are loving it. They love what they do. So you need to decide on your business model. Are you wanting to do kind of a side hustle? If you are wanting to do a side hustle and it's always going to remain a side hustle, please do not go through all the hoops of licensing and accrediting and all of that. Just go straight concierge. If that is your thought or expectation, give me a chat and I'll point you to the right people for that. If you're just kind of wanting you as self-employed, kind of a side hustle, you and another person without growing wings, you don't want to, I don't want to steer you wrong on that. So if you have questions about any of this stuff, you guys, we can talk about it, but I do know some people that can definitely help you with that. If you're looking to replace a whole income, if you're making whatever that income is as a nurse, if you're wanting to replace that income, remember that you don't have to match it dollar per dollar. So if I'm making 100 grand as a nurse and I'm going into business, I'm not going to be paying all those taxes. I'm going to be writing a lot of things off. I'm going to have a lot more money that I can hold on to versus, loss on payroll. So it's apples to oranges. So if I'm making $100,000 a year, I'm probably going to be really happy to make 75 a year. And, I'm writing off 25% of my mortgage, I'm writing off my car, I'm writing off my insurance, I'm writing off so much stuff. Like, it's insane. So if you know anything about business, get yourself a good CPA and you'll see how advantageous owning a business is. You need to decide on your business model. What is your risk aversion? When I was a single mom, would I have done any of this stuff?
No. You had no time, I bet. No?
I would have been horrified
Yeah.
when I was single. Yeah.
Mhm.
So figure out your risk aversion and why you have it. Sometimes, you should be averse to risk. I mean, it's just, you got to keep putting one foot in front of the other and you have to have some stability.
And just keep in mind, there are people, there'll be a lot of people, maybe even close family members, who do not see your vision, who do not have your same mindset. And I was flat out told when I started my first home care that I was an idiot. And during these times, home health will never make it. Well, that was several decades ago, and home health is still around. What a shock. So the trick is not to listen to those and just keep listening to yourself and your heart. So that should be the loudest voice in the room.
It's true. Know your level of commitment. You have to be committed and consider, do you want this to be a business or a hobby? And, there's no problem with, having kind of a hobby, something that you love, and making a business out of that, some kind of coaching and consulting, maybe a little, something you do that, you're not relying on making a set amount and knocking them dead. But you really need to get straight in your mind, like how hard you're going to hustle before you start laying money down. And I think what you said, Mark, was important is how much time you spend in this kind of la land of getting your business started up, how much time you spend there. You don't want to spend a lot of time in that kind of la land. So again, if you guys want to chitty chat about any of this, I love talking to nurses about their professional goals. And I'm, always welcome to talk. So how are nurses getting some of this done? They're getting licensed, they're getting accredited, they're creating programs. Some are joining franchises. They're getting into group memberships, and we're doing it the way we've always done it. What is it? See one,
Teach one,
do one, teach one. I mean, we're
see one, do one, teach one.
yeah. I mean, we're doing what nurses do. So anyway, we're doing it. We're making this shift. I mean, consciously, our world has changed so much, and it's changing every day. And we as nurses are adjusting to those changes. So anyway, here's some success stories. This is Yvonne, who's a registered nurse. Case management was her jam. And so she went through my program to work with COPD, CHF, those kind of patients. So here is Andrew Mueller. He's an RN. Additionally, he's an acupuncturist. So he's kind of got that whole integrative function. And so he's, able to create a very kind of highly specific business model.
And a righteous dude.
He is a righteous dude. I love that. This is Amber, who lives right around the corner. Not very far. I'm going to go see her one day. And she's a super smart nurse that her son has sickle cell. And so she has a heart for sickle cell. And so her practice, she went through the program. She's been waylaid a little bit. So we're going back and working with her. But her thing is the sickle cell patient and building a program around that. And so her practice is very heart, she's led by her heart. And so, this is what you need to do if you're considering a practice is, thinking about what your jam is, like what excites you about nursing, or, what population you love to work with.
And just like the sky's the limit. There are a bunch of opportunities out there not thought of. So they're out there.
And then, when you get your vision, learn the who, what, when, where, why, and how of it all. And so invest in a program, learn it from people who've done it. Industry happenings. I think we kind of went over this stuff. I'm not going to go. We're getting really late. So, you can talk about your passions, peritoneal dialysis, study drugs. Some people love that. Pain management, you guys, this HITS program is paying for pain management drugs. I'm telling you. Infusions, chronic disease, coaching, wellness, integrative, holistic, pediatrics, newborns, pregnancy, lactation. I have a nurse right now. I think she's on this call that is going for her lactation specialist. Hospitality. I mean, if you're just like that nurse that loved tucking patients in, do the hospitality end of it. Really do some kind of non-skilled and skilled. We've got people in there tucking people in. Wound care, anti-aging, concierge. My program works for concierge nursing for sure. It is a lot of information Most of the information is towards licensing though, or getting accredited. So it would probably be overkill. But however, the price of my course, you're definitely going to get your money's worth, even if you're doing kind of that concierge model. So that's me, you guys. I'm not going to go into my story. Most of you know my story. Well, I'll go into a little bit. I am a home health expert. I've carried a bag, I've done supervisor, I've done director of patient care services, I've done administrative, I've done startups, I've helped nurses all over the country and others, but I've chosen to work with nurses, start their agencies or optimize their agencies. So I was doing that and COVID hit. So I wrote a program. It's online, it's 10 modules. It's the A to Z of starting your own agency. And it's written for nurses, by nurses. That's us.
Hey.
We're also married. And, we're here to help our nursing thrive. We want to build legacy and wealth. So that is our goal. We do want to give back. And our program, did you want to say?
Well, just
something?
that should be everybody's goal that's on this webinar is when you get there, toss the ladder down and help the next person. It just it makes things benefits you. It benefits you. So
yeah, always reach your hand back. So here's my master course that I built. You guys can go to homehealthacademy.teachable.com. You can learn more about my courses. This start today button actually says learn more now. But anyway, homehealthacademy.teachable.com. If you guys want to look at my program, that's where you go. If you want to get signed up, we're starting next Thursday. We're starting home health, private duty. We're starting our private duty, and I'm also doing a bundle where I'm doing a private duty. And if you want to get accredited for home infusions as well, there's a bundle there. So you will see that there. My courses are online. There's 10 modules. You go in there and I have tons and tons and tons of paperwork, and you're able to go in there, put your logo on it. You're able to personalize it and create your business structure from my product that I've created. Also, we have a weekly master course where we go through those 10 modules and we do absolutely A to Z of starting an agency up. I don't actually give you physically the binders. If you wanted the binders, call me. It's going to cost you, but we have the paperwork for the binders. You'll conceptually understand everything. You'll be able to print this paperwork off and fill your binders up to get you ready for survey by your state, or if you decide to get accredited by your accrediting agency. And if I did this with just one person, I charged $30,000 for it for one business, because I'm spreading it out and I've written it now in a program and I'm able to work only with nurses. Thank you, Lord God. I can now offer this super value. Forms, and more forms from, your admission, your referral, your discharge, billing forms, your HR forms, that's my jam. I do a welcome packet. I do employee handbooks, all the things that you need to be licensed and running. And even if you decide, I'm not going to go for my licensing, you're still going to use all this stuff. So teachable coursework modules. Yeah, that's the modules where you go in each week. You're going to go in there and you're just going to learn, like, 1 week is hiring, 1 week is ongoing HR, 1 week is QI, 1 week is marketing. We just go through all components of ownership. You have a Facebook group, and that's everybody that enrolls tonight will be in that Facebook group where you can ask questions. I've record all of the master classes. Those show up on the Facebook group. So, if you miss it, you can always go back. This program you have for 18 months, and you're able to go back to Teachable and look at the coursework. You're able to go back and look at the videos. You're able to access me for 18 months. So it's like a super value.
Yep.
It's a crazy good value. You guys, like, it's crazy good value. I'm like, are you kidding? I wish I wrote this like the way I wish I would have had it when I started. Yeah. So. And then I do a one-on-one consult, and we really kind of go over your business plan. And we talk about, I want you to get at least through the marketing, which I think is week 3. After that, we're going to do a one-on-one, and we're going to talk about, your passion, your area of expertise, what you've got in your area as far as opportunities, and really do that one-on-one consult. Of course, I'm always available, email, Facebook for questions or anything like that. Total value $12,500 tonight, $2,500 for nurses.
Very good.
Only. So you guys can look at me at homehealthacademy.teachable.com. And like I said, you can take a look at my private duty is starting next Thursday. It will be on the 21st. The private duty starts at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and the home infusion, I'm doing a home infusion as well, and that starts at 4. So that is a 10-week course. And then the final offering, you guys, as if that's not enough.
Wait, there's more.
Wait, there's more. I do a mock survey with you guys. And with this survey, you give me a heads up and you tell me when you think your survey is going to be. I go through your HR, I go through your policies and procedures. You take your phone and your laptop and you walk me through your office, and I do a survey, just like, well, not completely just like, but like a surveyor would do. And you're going to share your files with me. You're going to share your HR. I'm going to ask all the questions that a surveyor would ask, and you guys will be ready. I mean, the surveys I've gotten so far on my agencies, the surveyors love us. I mean, you guys are well prepared, and it's not a scary thing. Anyway, that is my program, you guys. Let me see, what else do I have? Yep, there's my mock survey. And I said $1,000 value, it's more than that. So, but homehealthacademy.teachable.com. If you guys want to talk to me, if you're thinking about it, you can get a hold of me. You can email me. You do have my email at pam@northstarmedicalconsulting.com. You can email me and we'll set up a discovery call if you want to talk about this stuff, or just go sign up. It's money well spent. You're going to learn so much. So that is my Blueprint to Success courses.
I just have to say this, too bad you haven't known Pam for all these decades and years, because if you could see the woman now versus where she started all this, wondering what she should charge, how much should I charge? What am I worth? And I'm glad you're starting to see what you're worth. And she gets so many comments that this was the best money spent, spending time with Pam and such. So I think if you could see somebody and try to be where they are, Pam would be a good person to look at. She's built herself into a big dynasty, I think.
Dynasty.
The dynasty.
I'm a dynasty. Mark, are you saying I was Mika Mild at one time?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to believe, but yes.
I don't think I was. But anyway.
So she's doing well.
But you know what? I was that nurse that was like, okay, what is the scale? What are you guys gonna pay?
Mm.
You know, and waiting in line to hopefully get my raise. So, you know, I've been through all of that, and I've seen both sides, and I love ownership. I love owning my own business. I love driving my own bus. I love owning my own nursing practice. Like, this is my practice. I worked hard for it. I've learned a lot. It's been blood, sweat, and tears, but you know, here I am. All right, guys. I'm going to see if we have any chatty questions. If I could get to my chat box. Let's see. This guy needs to move there. Let's see if we have any questions. All right. We have got, oh, thank you. We've got some emails. Do you search state UIC to determine the rate for your state? Yeah, so as far as that tool, you'll need to go to your state and look at your rates. I've got California rates there, but you'll want to know like what your unemployment insurance is, and your workers' comp. When you use that tool, you'll design it for you. Not sure about your industry. You're a nurse prac in South Carolina. Lisa, I would love to talk to you. I just talked to another nurse practitioner that is doing some amazing things in home health, and has quite a lucrative business. Okay, another email. Good. I'm gonna send. Thank you, Silat. Thank you very much. Thanks, Tamara. Thanks, Lisa. You guys, thanks everyone. This is really sweet. Nurse consultant, patient advocacy, med management, nice. So aesthetics, yes, I'm excited about aesthetics. And I've got a new nurse that I'm bringing on that has got amazing aesthetic experience. We're writing policy and procedure for that and figuring out what we can do in the home. So keep you posted on that one. And non-skilled assessments. Thanks, Mark. Side hustle. All right, Gerardo, I'm definitely going to give you some names. Thank you. Nurses in Canada. So my modules are written to get you through licensing in the United States. I don't know what Canadian licensing looks like. I would love if you've got any of that information, send it this way. I'll look at it comparatively and see, you know, I've had actually a lot of Canadian nurses asking about this. So I have not had the time to research it, but if you have anything you want to research, if you've got any of that stuff, send it my way. I'd love to talk to you. Labels for the binders, you can print those up. You can buy them. You can buy some sticky things at like, well, we'll talk more. I know you, Miss Wanda. So we will talk more on that. Kim, what is your question?
Hello, Mrs. Taylor and Mr. Taylor. How you doing?
Hi, good. How are you?
Great, and thanks for inviting me.
Of course.
I had a question. I kind of missed the first like half an hour when you were on. I live in New York State, and I know that New York State is the toughest state, and like 2 other states out of all the states.
It is.
I have a non-medical home care agency startup, and I just got started like 2020. And then I was going to get some contracts, you know, like with like companies that get funding from the state, like for programs for the elderly. But what came through, COVID came in and paused up everything. So what I do, I just do private pay, which I get clients, you know, here, there from time to time. But it's just so tricky. And I see that you said that you help nurses like with startup home care agencies. it's kind of tricky.
Right.
I hear one thing, I hear
It is.
another. I got information from,
Yeah.
a kit that I purchased, stuff off YouTube. Everyone wants to sell you something. It's like with home care
Yeah.
agency, because I'm a home health aide, CNA, and I'm also a student nurse as well.
Right.
Like okay, so my agency here is non-medical.
Right.
Okay,
I mean,
so that means
I mean, it's so as far as New York,
uh-huh.
they are a certificate of need state. And so they're not giving any licensing out for any new kind of private duty agencies. So for you, you're going to be getting licensed probably through your Department of Human Services.
Yeah. So right
And
now, what I'm doing, yes. So what I'm doing now, I beat the deadline before they started saying they wasn't doing new applications and everything.
okay,
So I started as non-medical because just to get licensed, we don't need to be licensed if we're doing non-medical, but to get licensed, it's a 2-year process. It always been like that since I was in home health
yeah,
aid training since the
yeah.
90s. So my thing is, as a non-medical, can we have nurses like work for us, or do you have to be licensed in order for nurses to work for you?
No, you can have nurses working for you. However, they can't be doing hands-on care. They can't be working like doing IVs or doing wound care, or, they still have to be within caregiver roles. They can't
Okay.
be doing IVs or, anything that nurses are licensed to do.
Okay.
They can't be taking doctor's orders or anything like that.
Okay.
So,
So I would have to wait those 2 years out
yeah.
till I get the license, and then I can have nurses
Yeah,
work for
and
me. But they can do
I
paper.
don't
Yeah.
honestly, Kim, I don't even know if 2 years is even a good time frame right now with New York. And, all of a sudden they might just open everything up and make things easier. But right now things are just so clamped down,
Yeah.
they're just, the East Coast is really trying to get a handle on this virus. So,
Another thing too, I got my business started in 2018, but I didn't start doing business until 2020. The funny thing is that when March of 2020 came in, when they solidified, okay, there's COVID, they shut down. Anybody that wanted to open up new home care agency, whether it was medical or non-medical, they froze everything. So I end up
oh
beating
yeah,
the deadline time. So I'm secured. So anytime I want to
well,
go on to get
you were a
licensed,
lucky girl.
yeah, only time I want to get licensed. But the thing is, ever since when I was a home health aide and home health aide, like back in 92, it always been a 2-year with New York State just to get licensed.
Right.
So I didn't know all those years I was waiting that I could
Yeah.
have just started non-medical where I didn't even have to
Yeah.
be licensed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, one other question, I'll let someone else speak. I've been hearing about nursing staffing agencies. Do you know a
Yeah.
lot about that? Do you help? So maybe that's something that I can be able to do, because I heard like with staffing agencies, like if you want nurses, you
Yeah,
don't have to be licensed.
yeah, and it's every state is a little bit different. You're still going to go through your state to see what they're allowing you to do. But
Okay.
staffing agencies, there's a zillion of them popping up all over the country. A lot of people are doing it now for travelers. I looked into it. I honestly wouldn't do it right now, just because finding staff is going to be very difficult. Nurses are leaving like crazy, and as a new agency, it's very hard. You haven't, starting at this time, you have not developed the relationships to know if you're sending nurses into good situations or scary situations, or if your nurses are protected, or unless you really have some good relationships established with companies that you're going to be using. It is such a crapshoot right now. Yeah.
Yeah. I would do more. I would stay focused more on the home care side.
Okay.
You know, because actually I have a lot of nurses in my family and my friends too, and I'll be a nurse soon as well too. So the thing is not getting nurses. I think I will focus more on the home care side, to be honest with you,
Yeah.
instead of sending them to hospitals and facilities, because
Yeah.
when New York shut down, they didn't allow any agency to go into the hospitals or like assisted living or
Oh,
anything
yeah.
like that.
No, you're exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah. So so I want to know and speak to you more about that. If you can kind of like
Okay.
work with me, if you're willing to, on the staffing
Yeah,
side.
I mean, you can just email me and we'll chitty chat it up, Kim.
Yeah. Because I want to
Okay?
make sure I'm
Just
going
email
around
me.
about it the way that I need to with the staffing. And like I said, I will focus because
Right.
actually I got tons of calls over the last month for 24-hour care for nurses. But I know that I couldn't have nurses go out because I'm not
Yeah.
licensed. So someone told
Yeah.
me, well, why don't you just open up a staffing agency? So I'm going to need
Yeah.
help with that. I just want to make sure I'm doing things right step by step.
Yeah,
So yeah, like you
email
said,
me and
I'll email you. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
I'll email you. Thank you.
All right, guys. I think that's a wrap.
Mhm.
Yep. So if you have any, questions or anything, email me. We will chat soon. I'm going to get this posted. So this replay will be available for everyone. And thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Have a good night.
Ooh, the people still on there.
Yeah, they're probably